generally part of this is being handled by someone and all. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
No.
You were the one. When you started it?
I started it.
Whenever I'm here, my sister is also studying here. So she came along and many things that baseball I don't like whenever hostel to college and college to hostel. So that's why I created that whenever I'm not with her, someone
You feel scared. Okay, great. So you started when you were in the second year, first year, or
No
third?
ma'am, I started at the start of third year.
Third year. Wow, so it's very soon you.
Yes ma'am.
How many months you had it's taken?
Ma'am 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months में काफी बना लिया.
Yes.
Very good.
अपनी कोडिंग प्रोफाइल दिखाओगे? सब लोग every student is requested to ready his or her coding profile as well.
So finally you want to take up a job or you would like to come up as an entrepreneur? What's your plan like?
Ma'am,
You are out from my list, so that
In
I
front of
can consider you कि भाई आप तो entrepreneur बनने वाले हो तो मुझे आपके job की जरूरत नहीं है.
रिस्क मत लेना.
Being practically, I need a job. After that, I will create my own.
Sure, I think you will get a very good job. Have you tried in all this like top coder list? You are there?
He is in SAM 1.
He is, yes, sir, you are in some. So good to know. What's your name?
Ash Chaudhary, ma'am.
Okay, that is why Ash. Huh? Ash card आपके नाम से शुरू हो रहा है. That's what I was thinking. What it means.
Ash, why Ash? I was thinking about Aishwarya. But I thought I gone into my age.
दूसरे अपने नाम को वो करके बताया. Very good, very good. I'm glad that very promising students are there, so I can approach very high package company, right? So, at least on the basis of this, I will get to know कि कौन कौन कैसे हैं. उसके बेस पे हम decide कर सकते हैं कि कैसी कंपनी लानी है. So, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are a couple of places where UI can be improved. Like when you are giving the text boxes, okay, you see the small thing, the functionality was basically taken care of open API. Okay, there we are doing a lot of training from the model. I would suggest, my major suggestion would be that train your models on your algorithm, not just get the data from wherever you want, integrate it in your application, but train them some add your logic as well. Okay, but then this will be more helpful to the specific regions. Now, whatever I think the testing also would have been done is more really Gurgaon, Noida, and that kind of areas. How about the very rural areas probably, or let's say Andaman and Nicobar? Have you checked that data set? Like, I don't think you people will have the data on Andaman and Nicobar, but it's a part of India.
Yes.
And Lakshadweep, right? So you need to, when you cater those things, when you scale it, then think of the whole region as well.
Yes.
And the UI part, definitely needs some. It should be a bit aligned. Everywhere it should be a bit aligned. And let's say when you're integrating the Google Maps as well, so the window is coming. The other thing which you have created, it's overlapping with them. Okay, the Google features are also on the text boxes, so at times it's not very user friendly. So that can be a bit improved. But the rest, the idea is really new. Okay, and the graphs it's showing is definitely different from what the actual Google is presenting. So definitely that model is working. So yeah, really appreciate it and thank you.
Thank you.
Something else, when you took Meerut as destination, so there are 3 routes. One is through expressway. It was showing a yellow. So heavy traffic is there, but it is very fast on Meerut expressway, and traffic density is low because the highway is very broad. 14 lane. And other route is through Muradnagar,
Yes, sir.
as I know, and you are
Yes, sir.
from Meerut, I
Yes, sir.
suppose. So Muradnagar, the traffic is bit slow,
Yes.
but traffic density and is very densely populated area. And the third one is from Bagpat. So that is also faster, but some places are very aloof in that route. So it provided the Muradnagar route as the best one. So I think it is proven that whatever route you have taken is safest route you have taken, and at the same time you have taken care of traffic as well.
Proud ISS.
Crowd management. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Arsh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, that's a great idea. I think for women safety and I personally really liked it.
He included men as well.
Well, that's something we always tend to forget, but we shouldn't, for sure. So the next in line, we have a project named HelpNet. That is a community disaster relief application, and it is presented by Prakhar Srivastav. Prakhar, the stage is yours. You have to add this in this.
Yeah, it's made, panel wise.
It is actually
स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रही, सिर्फ होम स्क्रीन शेयर हो रहा है इसमें।
वो डिस्प्ले वाला सेटिंग कौन थी?
कल हो रहा था।
Duplicate this way. Extended duplicate.
ओके। So hello panel members, hello ma'am, hello sir, and everyone present here. So my project is HelpNet. To brief you about it, what the underlying technology is, it is a decentralized platform for location sharing, file sharing, message sharing, along with other features. But that is a lot of jargon. So let me introduce you why I even started to think about this project at the first place. So the most tragic incident that happened in 2025 that we are aware of is the Mahakum incident. And every life is valuable, and we don't want people to die just because a lot of people were present at the same place. So, and along with that, also there are gatherings, there are concerts, there are religious gatherings, there are concerts that happen where a large amount of crowd gather at a very small location, and that is very chaotic, that can turn very violent due to spreading of a rumor or due to any other cause. there can be stampedes, there can be many different scenarios where lives may be lost. And there is not any kind of platform that provides you the solution about this. Why decentralization is important? It is peer to peer, as I've said, it is decentralized. So there is also, if for example there was a central server, the primary problem in that will be uh, the scaling issue, because in situations like these, everything's normal and suddenly everything goes to chaos. So there will be a large amount of traffic build up in a very short amount of time. So it will be very difficult to scale, and also we will have to maintain that kind of server to at all times to manage high traffic. But it is not always the case that you will be having that kind of traffic, because it will only be used in scenarios like these. So why peer-to-peer technology is important in this is because you will not have a central server. Everything will be connected. Everyone will be connected directly to each other. Every node will be connected to every other node in that network. So it has automatic scaling options. The data is encrypted using SHA 256 and the geolocation sharing that I have already told you about. So I presented this application in a hackathon that was held in the Microsoft office in Gurugram. There were a few suggestions that they gave. The first one was, okay, so I as a person can send my location, can share my location. But what if there is, for example, a woman who doesn't want to share her exact location at that time? She wants everyone to know that she is present at that location. She wants the authorities to know that she is present at that location, but she doesn't want the exact location to be highlighted. She just wants a range to be highlighted. So I implemented this so that instead of pinpointing the exact location, there will be a range shown that, okay, this person is present in this area. The second thing is obviously location highlighting if we press the SOS button. The third one is NSFW text filtering, because one thing one of the jury members said is that, okay, this is decentralized and every other person is connected to every other person. So and there is also least amount of authentication done in this, because we want the barrier of entry to be significantly less, because we don't want any kind of barriers in situations like these. So what if someone uses it for malicious purposes and tries to send illicit messages? For that I researched and I came about NSFW.js, which is a library, and what it does is that it filters out images and text based on hash values created, and if that hash value exceeds a certain threshold, that message is not sent. Also, I tried to make it Also, what Hyperswarm does is that it can use internet for long distance communication, but also it has an additional feature of connecting people without internet using a local area network, wireless local area network. But in cases like these, you will not have access to internet. But NSFW text filtering, NSFW.js in particular, uses internet to work. So I thought, okay, even if someone is connected through offline mode, I don't want this feature to be disabled, because this is an extremely crucial feature. So I created my own script where a list of most illicit used words are stored, and any permutation combination of that words, any combination of that word, and even any kind of even if someone changes that word slightly, but it is still a subset of that kind of word, that will not be able to send, he or she will not be able to send that message to every other person. Also, if someone tries to send that message, his instance of application will be blocked for some amount of time, that he or she cannot send the message for some amount of time. The last one is the business model. We are planning to sell and present this idea to governments, because this is an extremely important feature. Also, the underlying technology can be sold to security companies for decentralized. Also, the underlying technology can be sold to security companies for decentralized mapping and decentralized location sharing and file sharing and message sharing options. Let me give you a brief demo about how this application works. So here I have opened two instances of the same application, left and right. These are two users. I've logged in from this user. I'll tell you how to log in from the other user. I just have to enter my name and age and gender. Why age and gender is because for future improvements, I was thinking that even if we try to send this data to the authorities, we want them to prioritize the extraction, and we want them to prioritize the any kind of actions that they take based on age. If someone's a senior citizen or someone is a child, or if someone is a male or a female, they want to prioritize the extraction of that person based on these scenarios and based on these data sets. I'll click join HelpNet. So this is the basic UI. The first one is file sharing. Obviously, if I can show you, if I send anything, every other instance that is open in the vicinity will receive the message. The second one is file sharing. I can send any kind of file. There is no limitation of whether you can send images, videos, PDFs, you can send anything. The third one is ask a doubt that I touched about, where if you ask any doubt, for example, what to do in an earthquake, it contacts Azure AI, which is using currently GPT-4o model for this, and it generates an answer to answer your query. The fourth one is location privacy. As I said, as I discussed about, this was one of the feature that was suggested to me by one of the jury members in a previous hackathon. What it does is that, for example, your location right now is being pinpointed. If I click on location privacy, your location will not be pinpointed. There will be a dot, a big circular mark there, and your location will not be pinpointed at that time. The fifth one is SOS. If I click SOS, every other system will get an immediate emergency text, and also your, sorry, just a minute. As you can see, there is a survivors online option. Survivors online is showing to be 1 because it shows the number of how many nodes are connected in the vicinity apart from this. So there are 2 instances open, so that's why it is showing 1, because 1 is the user itself. The fifth one is check-in safe that I told you about. If you want to ensure that, okay, everyone from your family or from your friends should know that you are in a safe zone, you can just enter your name, and your name will be broadcasted to every other person, and he can search if your name is present in that list or not. So this was the presentation. I hope you like it. Yes, sure.
So can you send a message how the other person is looking into it? Like, is it a system?
Okay, the message is shown here. For example, if I type something, the other instances will be shown the message.
System is saying hi. Shouldn't be the name of that person.
Yeah, because so one thing is that because I have minimized the, so there is no authentication in this because I want the barrier of entry to be reduced.
So how does it differentiate between the same name of multiple people?
Okay, so yeah, there may be instances that there are same name of multiple people in a crowded environment. So you can add some more messages like, okay, my father's name, my mother, because there is no foundation of what you can send. So you can also write your name along with your father's name or your mother's name so that they would know that.
How do you manage the location mobility? Suppose I posted the problem from a particular location, so maybe I won't be staying there. May move. How do I update my
Yeah, so I've used Leaflet.js for mapping purposes. What Leaflet.js does is that it tracks the exact location at that point of time. So this is dynamic. So you are only seeing one location on both of the instances because both of the instances are opened in my laptop, so they are overlapping.
Where do you decide the censorship? At the local node or at the server?
So before sending any kind of messages, that message is passed through a script, a node script that
Local node or
yes, local node, yes.
Just a question on the UI. What's survivors online? Most
So, sir-
like we are playing.
Yeah, so so
Maybe think on
yeah, okay. The naming convention could be better in this, I guess.
And give me a use case where you say location privacy. What is the use case of that?
So, okay, for example, if there is a crowded environment and there has been a stampede in that location, and for example, there's a woman who has been cornered and she is not able to move to any kind of exit points, and there is a lot of crowd between her and the exit point. So, she wants other people, she wants her family members or other people, authorities, to know that okay, she is present here, but maybe she doesn't want her exact location because she has been cornered and there might be someone with malicious intent to get to her. So that's why there is a location privacy option which shares you approx.
Finally, that woman wants some help to reach her only.
Yeah.
Might get
Oh,
some time.
why they need to understand?
Yes. So for the time being, if till the time someone contacts her, she can use the location privacy option, and if some authorities reach at that location, they can directly contact her.
So is there any option to go back on point location?
Yes, there is an option. It is a toggle button, so if I can click on it and I can click on it again to move it back.
It is upon her.
Yes.
What will be by default feature?
By default, it is pinpointed. You log in, your location will be pinpointed. If you don't want your location to be pinpointed, you can click on this button and your location will not be pinpointed anymore. If you want again your location to be pinpointed, you can click the button again and it will vanish.
There is a scenario in which something untoward or a stampede happens.
Yes, sir.
So someone is there, group of family members are there,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
And say internet connection is not available.
Yes. So that is what I covered. That Hyperswarm can be connected using local area networks without internet too.
Suppose in a situation that some n number of people or n number of people want to help the person,
Hmm.
and they all start moving to help the person.
Hmm.
So, is there a mechanism that informs others that this many people are going to help her, so that others don't jump into that situation again, making it a crowd management
Very
situation
important.
again?
Yes, sir.
Because that
So-
will again create an
Hmm.
stampede.
Hmm.
So there should be some way for others to know these many people are going to help.
So yes, so your question is extremely valid. This can happen, but the logical scenario in this would be that most of the people, 99.9% of the people in this scenario will be trying to help themselves. So there will not, I don't think there can be a circumstance created where a stampede within a stampede can happen just to help one single person, because
But there is a point. Say I said that of 10 people are there,
sir.
right? So will this message will be sent to all in the close vicinity or only the family members?
So everyone in the vicinity, because
Everyone in the
because at that point you don't want only your family members to know that you need help. You want everyone in the location to know that you need help. For example, in Melas, if a small child is lost, he calls for her mother, but he just doesn't look for her mother. He shouts so that even if someone who is willing to help that kid out, they can help.
To help people in the stampede, right? Or any such
Any crowded
I can
gatherings.
create that stampede or rowdy place by this also. Solutionize thing, I can create this problem with this app also. Like I can tell people यार ऐसा ऐसा scene है यहाँ पे problem हो रही है, false message, and then the people will panic and again the stampede or that crowd creation will happen.
Yes,
So
sir.
it can be
Yes, sir.
100% used at the other purpose, which is solving.
Yes, sir.
So
this is an issue similar to the issue that I have solved, which was sending text that is illicit in nature. So yes, because you have touched upon this, I didn't think about it. I will surely work upon this, just as I work on that NSFW text filtering. Thank you, sir.
And there is a concept called Byzantine agreement problem. It solves the consensus issue. Maybe you can use that concept to decide upon certain things.
Yes,
So
sir,
many
surely.
people are reporting that there is some problem, and then there is other set of people they are not reporting that.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you can use the consensus algorithm, which is Byzantine agreement algorithm to solve.
Yes, sir. I surely look into it, sir. Thank you.
So, is this application running on your local system right now?
Yes, this is running on my local system. I just have to do a build of this and then distribute it to any other people. No, it is an application. It is not a website, because
So it's a desktop.
Yes, right now it is a desktop application. I'm planning to transform it also to React Native to make it a mobile application.
I feel that this project's motive behind it is very noble. I think it can helpful if some more feature can be added into
Yes, sir. Yes,
thinking
ma'am.
how it can be used and all. Little bit refining and it's to be done,
Yes, ma'am.
and then it's going to be wonderful. So great idea, and thank you for presenting. I feel really good about it.
Thank you.
And feel proud of you that you could manage to think on those aspects. Wonderful.
Tell one more thing about him. I mean, as soon as I send message on the group, there are very few guys, few students in the batch. Those who once said, sir, this message is wrong, or you should have added this, or this is the concern about the message. So he is a very proactive person.
It appears, yes, you are doing a wonderful job. So
Thank
I
you.
wish all the very best in your future. And again, one question. You would like to take up a job or you would like to be a- What's your, I mean, openly
Okay.
tell. I mean, I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
going to delete your name from the list.
So I can tell you the plan of my next 1.5 years. So it is that I will appear for job placements, but also I am currently working on an application that there is a top coder group in this college. So I'm currently building a website so that teachers can send assignments to them. Like it will be a unified platform. I also briefed sir about it some time before,
Yeah.
and
They are
maybe
working on it.
any kind of fundings from the college later on.
So, I mean, you are in front of the best person who can help you in funding. And Prakhar, can you show your coding profile?
Yes, so sure.
Actually, I wanted to see that after joining the Potential Coder Club, what you have been doing. And there are few students may not be part of this club.
Just wanted to
They may not be great coders, but they are having good projects.
Yes.
Just wanted
Probably
to
in the
understand,
next cycle
how
they will be.
you scale yourself regarding this coding. Means you feel that you are a very good coder, or you are still struggling, or I mean you have a confidence in the coding part.
Yes. So yeah, I kind of
You
believe.
scale yourself.
So I kind of believe that I am a good coder, and this belief is actually very important for my personal gains also, because I try to be better than myself from the previous day, and also like I am a bit competitive. Like I don't want others to.
Recently there
okay.
was one test, right? This Geek app.
Yes, sir.
So you could manage to run 3 codes or 1 or 2, or what was your status?
So the test was only 1.5 hour, and there were 5 questions with extreme difficulty. So I managed to run 2 codes in that. Yes.
Actually, he focused on two and completed both.
Because doing 5 questions in that amount of time was. So this is my lead code profile.
When you started coding,
Contest rating of 17-18. I'm currently focusing on achieving the night's
I
batch.
was asking something.
when you started this coding practice,
Yes.
when you started.
So I started from the beginning of the second year.
Good. Wish you all the very best. Pursue Prakhar.
Yes, ma'am.
Prakhar's last one. You're from which department?
ACSC, CSA IML.
My elder son and you're both of us the same day, and he is also in 6th semester.
And you are
But not in
Prakhar.
this field.
Prakhar, you know? What do Prakhar mean?
Smart, intelligent.
Sharp.
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 Prakhar is shy.
Maybe your son and I were lost in one of these stampedes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Prakhar.
So, I mean, now.
Now we'll be breaking into the production panel.
Mr. Kanak and Rashmi can stay in this.
Yeah.
And Dr. People and David Sheikh and panel 2 students, please. Go to the laptop. So all of you are panel 1. Okay. It's a final.
621
3788
3788.
3788 47. Yes. लिंक खोल लो ना जो हम भेजे थे।
खुल ही नहीं रहा ना।
लिंक क्या होता है? तो बट ईमेल पे करो ना, ईमेल से एक्सेस किया था ना।
अरे मैं लॉग आउट कैसे हो गया इसमें?
किसी हर
Kumar Tiwari, and we are here to present our project. So, hey Shiv, how are you? Yeah, I've created a new sign protection project.
I created one of those during my initial ML days. What I did was I used a data set which had a list of digits and numbers, and I trained a model on it, and it was working perfectly fine. What's so different about yours then?
Yeah, well, the thing is, mine works on gestures, and if you actually refer to the Indian Sign Language, or in fact, even any other sign language, it's not just limited to signs and numbers, it's actually gestures. Have you
What do you
tried
mean?
that?
So what you're saying is there's gestures for every single word,
Yeah,
and
of
it's
course.
not limited to letters and digits.
Yeah, of course. Try saying mother.
For mother, I would just spell MOTHENR.
Well, why go through all that complexity when you just can say mother with this gesture? Why just spell MOT?
I can say mother with just this gesture.
Yeah, of course. This
What-
is
what you're saying is that every single word has its own gesture,
Yeah.
and not just limited to spellings.
yes.
Well, even if that's the case, I can just train any deep learning based model, and that would work as well. So then, what's next?
Yeah, well, here's the catch. My app doesn't require machine learning. It's purely based on some observations, some logic, and some optimizations of the code.
Care to explain?
Yeah, sure. Welcome to Gestura. So, dear panel members, we are here to solve a problem. If you look at the current sign language system, you would see many projects. Every day it's a new project on sign language, but most of them only recognize static letters and digits, etc. Furthermore, these sign languages utilize some machine learning models. These models have, as you can see, with any machine learning model, they require high computational power to run on machines. So we took that the problem, and we followed some objectives. So our objective was quite simple. We tried solving the problem without any machine learning model. If you can think, it's just purely based on logic. It's just a simple script which actually detects the gesture we are trying to do. So we have also implemented real-time input, real-time gesture recognition, and also we have implemented multi-user input. So if you want to connect, everybody can do that. Also, we have developed cross-platform compatibility. We have Android application, iOS application, as well as web app for that. We have transformed it into a full-fledged platform with user authentication, payment service because we are planning to make this free. But however, we are also taking an API service. Let's say if you want to use our APIs, you can just pay a small amount and you can access that. So that is all. It is based on Spring, by the way. And furthermore, the API service is currently work in progress. Okay, Baki authentication, payments, etc. Is working. And at the last, we are trying to expand the vocabulary so that it can be expanded.
Right, so let's draw the ground reality here. If you look onto your left here, the published patents for sign language models, and then on the right for granted patents. Left, you can see that almost every single week a new project based on sign language is being created, and patents are also being published. But if you look at the right on the granted patents, you see first of all there's only two sections here with actual sign language based projects. You see that approximately only 8% of all these projects are innovative in some sense. Most of them are just copy pasting each other's datasets and getting to it patiently published. So approximately 92% of them are not innovative at all, and we are hoping to change that.
So if you can see, if you currently look at the stats, this is based on a World Health Organization survey. Almost 4.2% of the population is hard to hearing or mute, which cannot speak. But if you see, we are here in the fourth industrial revolution, where technology is transforming every aspect of life. For example, you all must have known Elon Musk recently created Neuralink, right? For the disabled persons who cannot move their hands and legs, so that they could control their equipments with just their mind. So based on similar motivation, we have created the Gestura. Our Gestura is supported by many national and international policies. These are the policies which are in tune with sustainable development goals as well as UN conventions.
Alright, so now let's jump into the methodology. First of all, I'll explain to you our tech stack. As already mentioned in the objective, our project is deployed on Android and iOS and web as well. So for front end, we are using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And for the smartphone ports, we are using Flutter. Now, as for the backend, our script is based on Python. So we're just creating. So we have created a fast API backend for it. It accepts WebSocket connections to handle multiple users, and then there's also an NLP-based connection specifically for Android, which I'll mention in a bit. Then there's MongoDB. Since we are not having any data set, we are storing our gestures completely in form of coordinates, and They are stored in a key value format. Currently, we are using a gesture.json file, but we are hoping to change it into MongoDB, which has a similar document style architecture. After that, Spring Boot and MySQL, as already mentioned, since we are making it a platform, we are using Spring Boot and MySQL for handling all the payments and authentication. All right, on to the architecture. I'll explain to you the architecture of our platform. First of all, the user logs in. They hop into the landing page. There's two sections, the predictor and the API generator. As for the predictor, the user can just start their webcam and start making predictions and all that. But if you want to pay for our services, you can get into the API generator. You can then log in. It's a standard login workflow. And if you're logged in, then you can make the payment and you can get your own API key and use our project as well for your concerns. Next is the system architecture.
So our system architecture is based on modern system principles, modern design principles. Basically, we have followed a microservice approach for each of the systems. So let me go through. So there's a user interface which would interact with the Gestura gateway. So Gestura gateway has a microservice of authentication. What authentication does is it takes in form logins, OAuth based authentication such as Google authentication, GitHub authentication. Now post authentication, a JWT token, JSON Web Token is received to the Gestura gateway. Now all the communication which require authentication would be done through JWT authentication tokens. For example, here predictor model, our prediction web page does not require any authentication, so it is directly connected without authentication. Our core network requires a JWT authentication, which is transferred wherever required. So we have applied a load balancer here. Load balancer is because basically the predictor is resource heavy. And that's why if multiple connections are there, the load balancer automatically tries to balance the load into various services running. So a core network is here, which maintains a WebSocket connection with the backend API. Backend API is running on predictor. If you can all see, all of these are registered on the Netflix Eureka server to maintain a service registry. After that, the predictor is currently based on Fast API. Okay, Fast API because we are currently using MediaPipe. MediaPipe, yes, I would like to clarify. MediaPipe is a machine learning model, but we are just using for extracting the key points. Our gesture frame is just based on some logic and code, which we will demonstrate later. So the predictor maintains a WebSocket connection with our core framework. All of these are differentiated into different databases. This is based on document database, MongoDB, as told by Shiv. The core network maintains a standard user details such as username, password, etc. etc. It has a different database of SQL, and there is a payment service. We have utilized the Stripe gateway. Stripe gateway for payment. The payment service is completely. It also has a different SQL database. We have utilized microservice because let's say we are running our predictor model, and someday let's say we need to change our gateway. Let's say we want to use Razorpay, so we have to bring our payment service down. Now I don't think so that just for simple service we have to bring the whole system down. So this was a prime reason of why we have utilized a microservice approach. So benefits of this are it is scalable, it is robust, etc. Okay. So let's talk about the actual implementation, how we implemented this.
So for the implementation, as already mentioned, that we are not utilizing any ML model, so our approach gets a lot simpler. No model training is required, so you can just feed in the gesture and it can start recognizing it. There's no need of any training. Then it's faster. It's faster because since it is not doing any ML-based heavy calculation, so it works flawlessly, and it also makes it resource efficient. Hence, it can run on cheap backends and still manage to handle multiple connections. As for the code snippet, what we actually do is take in the key points of your hand. Since ISL has most of their gestures based on hand, so we extract 11 landmarks from it. There's 2 from each finger and then 1 from the wrist. The landmarks are extracted, then we normalize them using the bounding box approach. How does bounding box approach work? It takes in minimum x, minimum y, maximum x, and maximum y. Takes the midpoint from your entire hand and it draws the origin right here. So no matter wherever you do the sign, it will automatically take into account. Now after all of this is done, after it has received all the landmarks and it has normalized. We initialize the frame counter at frame stage 0. Now suppose you have given it a frame, it will go into the JSON file. It will scan all the items from the JSON file, and if your frame matches with any, it takes the frame stage into, and if it matches with any, and I'll explain this line in a bit. Fast CDW. If it matches with any, then it increases the frame stage variable by 1. It will stand for the next frame, then the next frame, then the next frame. Another thing to mention, all of the gestures that we record, we are assuming that any two different words can be separated with the help of only 4 frames. Suppose mother is said like this and daughter is said like this. So for mother, 2 frame for here, 2 for here. For daughter, 2 for here and 2 for here. So we are hoping that 4 frames are enough to distinguish between any two different words. That's why whenever our frame stage reaches 4, we detect the word and we send it. As for this line, the fast read line. It is a very efficient library used for time sequence based input. What do you mean by time sequence? Well, whenever you are doing a gesture, it is a sequence of frames. So we have to centralize the landmarks. And in order to centralize the landmarks, we are utilizing fast DTW. It is a, you can say, improvement of DTW. DTW was originally an ON square based approach. This one is ON based approach only. Let's hop into the demo. Here we have recorded some videos for it. Here you can see I am doing 1 second. Alright, right here. I am doing a single frame. Good, it is able to recognize that. I am doing a gesture of return, it is able to recognize that. I am doing daughter, it is able to recognize that. There's our web port, which is also working, and there's our Android port. In the Android port, I do good, morning, daughter, where, son. And I can also press the NLP button, which translates this entire thing into a comprehensive sentence so that people can understand it. Good morning, daughter, where, son. For this, we have used the Gemini model. For the live demo. Okay.
So we are presenting a live demo for that. Wait, in this only. Escape. Go here. So as you can see, there's a webcam. So first, this is good, right? This is return. Wait. Connection है?
Skip past.
Sorry?
Skip past.
Okay. Yeah, there's the return. It was a bit delay because of frame delay.
Was not charging. Quite slow in taking in the frames.
If you can see, our good was yes, single frame, I agree. But our return is completely this. So you can see it's a whole gesture based recognition. And so anything else? If because we can also show the Android demo we have developed as here. If you would like, this is our Android device. If you would like a demo, we could also give on Android. Basically, it maintains the same WebSockets connection. It's basically calling that. Yeah.
The main thing is the script and the
Yeah.
fast API.
This is the script. What actually it does is it takes the start frame. If you would see start frame, mid to frame, and when the end frame matches, it detects the gesture. Okay. So let me talk about the challenges we faced in while coming up with the project. So as you can see, a basic understanding is that if we have to recognize signs, we have to use ML model, and I agree with that. It's a common intuition because American Sign Language, it has 99.5% accuracy rate. So that's also trained on CNN LSTM. So for the Indian Sign Language, the issue is there is no data set. Okay, so we had to go. In fact, we tried this. We actually first tried the CNN model and an LSTM model, but our machines were not that computationally powerful.
Yeah, we actually went through the dictionary. We scanned for 50 words. We actually created all those videos, but it was just not running on the system.
We created over, you won't believe, over 500 videos for those gestures, but we were nowhere getting same kind of results as we are getting here. So we thought that we need a different approach. So we searched the web, went through research papers, and we came up with this solution. So we have completely avoided the CNN and LSTM models as we described here. The next challenge we faced was multiple user handling. As you can see, basically our script maintains some global variables. Now the issue was whenever new WebSocket connection is being established, those web connections were modifying the old instances global variables. So we applied a simple approach. We created a map of each WebSocket instance and assigned a list of unique global variables for each of the instance. The third issue was, you might have guessed, many of you, the camera FOV. In many computer vision projects, camera FOV, field of view, if someone doesn't know, field of view is one of the core challenges. For example, let's say this is my webcam. If I do a gesture here and here, these both are different. Why? Because if you can see here, x axis, y axis, whenever a camera records or media pipe gives, these x and y axis are taken into account while doing the frames. So we solved that through normalization. First, we approached a solution of rest based normalization. Basically, we have key points. So here is our rest. So we converted this that this is our origin, and all of the other key points were mapped based on this.
Essentially what we did was, like, here's the wrist landmark. So we subtracted the wrist landmark from all the other landmarks, which made all of them related to the wrist. But it wasn't working as effectively as the bounding box approach, which we later started.
And the final issue was overlapping gestures. For example, if you can see, this is mother and this is daughter. So start frame is same. So there were issues creating. So what we did was, we tried in this video only, we only tried the start frame. We matched the start frame, and then on that basis, if mid 1, mid 2, mid 3 was mid 1, mid 2 and end frame was matching. If those were matched, then only it was predicting. So it wasn't able, because if we see that this is mother, right? This is mother. So the issue was coming that it wasn't able to earlier distinguish between mother and daughter, because it is both are starting with that. So we solved that like this. So let's talk about the future scope of this project.
First of all, we would try to make better normalization techniques to be able to track our hand advancements better. Because your hand is 3D, okay, so it has a depth, but your camera doesn't recognize it is 2D. So we will what I essentially mean is, if you try to do the gesture of good like this, and for you it's the same, but for our camera this is different and this is different. What we are currently doing is, we are also recording on this and this, but we'll try to form a better normalization techniques which can also handle angles. Next is better vocabulary support. Since we do not require any training, so we are not trying to limit ourselves. We will try to expand through the entire ISL dictionary and make gestures for every word. Next is translation to any regional language. You might know about Bhashni API. What Bhashni API does is, it translates English and Hindi, like the two most commonly used language of our country, into any regional language. So what this will help us to do is help communicate all the different basically all the communities of India will be able to communicate with each other with the help of sign language through Bhashni API. Then there's offline mobile ports. Since we have a client and server based architecture, our mobile ports always rely on backend, but we will try to integrate Python into mobile as well. We have not really dove deep into it, but we will try to make the mobile ports completely offline so that it can also work in network constrained environments. Next is the NA to ISL converter. This is a completely different aspect. What this will do is convert all the words to their ISL counterpart videos so that people can learn and practice. That's it for our project. Thank you.
Questions, please.
Right now, can it do a statement? Right now, you're doing one word and then it's getting compiled.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can it do a statement?
Sir, the nature of ISL is that it is already broken down into words. It does not have any long gesture for any statement. If it had, we could also. Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
It works like with word to word.
Yes.
But I have seen the news for the disabled person. They do like this, and there's a whole statement. So
yes.
Right now, what you're doing, you're writing mother is good for daughter. Okay. you have done very slowly.
Yes.
Mother is good for daughter.
Because I'm not proficient in sign language, I can't do it
No.
that way.
Can the system do that? You are not, but
Definitely it can, because here I'm pressing the NLP button. What I can do is we can, as soon as it detects a word, it can automatically translate it based on the original sentence and the new word, and then it can compile the entire sentence again. and
Have
then
you
do
seen the news with those kind of? They don't do that slowly.
that. Yeah,
Because
they
that
do
will
it quite
take
fast.
ages for news to get reciprocated.
To handle that, since we are using Gemini API, right? It takes a lot of delay to, not a lot, it is quite fast, but for our use case, it will be a long delay. So we'll try to use some offline based NLP as well. We would deploy it right into our backend, so that would make it faster.
I would say, what I can comprehend, it's not about the NLP Gemini side, it's more on the R system side, how we can improve to gauge the gesture faster.
Yes.
Probably in the sentence mode, that is not in the good mother, sister, not in that way, but it can connect those dots very quickly. Okay. That is the future implementation of
definitely.
this,
We will-
because
Yeah, I understood what you said.
right, how it will help the business or the real world.
Yeah.
Like if I can do this with video call, one person is disabled, other person also, they can do it by sign language, they can communicate. But I think the implementation is for documentation purposes as well. Right, and documentation will only happen when it's at that speed. So your logic is amazing. You have figured out something amazing. Try out that it can be. Make it sellable basically.
Yeah.
Right. It's sellable is only when it's getting documented at that speed. That people really don't need the braille language, right? It can be a counterpart to that. Yeah, everything is documented as well.
Yes.
And that would really help them in different industries where people can easily work in the disabled.
Yeah, like our target audience is not just ISL practitioners, it's also different types of customer-based services. Like now, any service would be accessible to the mute and deaf people as well. They can just use sign and scars to all the customer services that any company is offering.
Yeah, that's why that's where.
Yeah, one thing I like most about this presentation is like the first two presentations were missing is architecture diagram. We are presenting this as a technical presentation, right? I think for every presentation, we should have the architecture diagram. So overall, we can understand your entire system, with how it is behaving, how end-to-end things are connected, how they are working inside. So that was very good addition, I guess, on your side. Apart from that, I think we have developed a very good algorithm that I really.
The third SQL database. Like,
Can you go back to
So the third SQL database is because our payment service is modularized. So basically, this database only maintains the records of all the payment services, all the payments we did. Yes, sir, I can combine with the above two. But the issue is, sir, if our payment service is down, and yes, actually you are right.
need to happen. Even I would say you don't need three even. Whatever you can do, it can be done in a single one. You choose any of them, whichever.
No, sir, we need to. The reason behind is that our document database is storing gestures. If I can show you the gestures.json file we are currently using. Oh, no, just a second. Yeah, wait. Sure. Yeah, I have the format. Yeah, if you can see our gesture.json file, what it does is for every keyframe, yeah, just like we stored this. So what it does is start, and for that start it stores these 11 key points, right? And this for mid. So basically our database, which is document DB, it is quite the read operations are very high here. So if we merge that with our user database, that would create a blockage.
It will basically make the predictor system very slow. The efficient lookup of map really helps us a lot.
And one more thing, like what you have mentioned is predictor, right?
Yeah.
3 times, like what exactly is this?
So it just shows different instances. Like suppose you are using a service and sir is using a service and he is using a service.
This is a load balancer here we have applied here. Let's say you are using, and if this model is already serving serving you, so what it will do is it will serve you, so that you both get good experience.
Really, why I was saying because the core part, what other action item does this core part do?
So our core parts is very simple. It
Just auth,
yeah.
then it won't have.
For all, I don't think we need to have any.
That's why I was saying ना कि you can have it in one only. like auth में आप कितना redirect करा लोगे जिससे कि आपकी भी performance impact आ जाएगी. मतलब आपका जो main crux है कि मेरी performance low ना हो जाए उसके लिए आप MongoDB यूज कर रहे हो. Right? आप इसमें सिर्फ आपकी एक user authentication है. तो वो भी वहाँ जाता है.
Sir, we are using this because we are doing payment service, right? Now for that we need asset properties. Now SQL database provides us by default that. So it's basically a modular structure, I would say. Let's say we want to change something in code structure. Okay, so it is currently basically this database is exposed to this. Now there is no security here. What if it is able to somehow access this database, the user database, if both are merged? So that's it enables us to secure our systems more, because as you can see there is no authenticator here. If there is no authenticator here, then and this is communicating with our database. Now somehow let's say it is able to manipulate the data stored of the user. So that's a bad practice in the industry, I would say.
Then we need to write better code.
That's the ultimate solution for everything.
Or we can write the edge cases ourselves. So we relied on the database.
You have to see the cost as well. Like when you go out, it's all about cost. Okay, so if you say I'll do this better when you provide me the supercomputer, someone is going to give you a supercomputer. Yes. You have to work in the best resources available. So that's the only problem. But yeah, great stuff, guys. Great stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
My comment also. Wonderful project and again very noble cause. बहुत अच्छा इसके पीछे behind this a very good cause of doing this project, पर इस पे थोड़े बहुत और काम करके इसको I just don't know, पर ऐसा बना दो कि ये छा जाए और बहुत हेल्पफुल हो जाए. क्या चाहिए, कैसे करना है, टेक सजेशन, टेक डू, मतलब अभी ये मुझे लग रहा है इट्स अ वेरी इनिशियल स्टेज.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
तो बट इसमें बहुत सारा काम बचा है as per my understanding. So take suggestion जिससे भी आप ले सकते हो, do more work on it and prove yourself and get it patent and इस पे छा जाओ.
Okay.
You know you will make lot of money.
And who worked on what part?
Sorry?
Between you, who worked on what part?
I worked on all of the backend stuff of the fast API, and he worked on making it a platform.
So the core algorithm we worked both. He came up with the normalization stuff which solved our FOV. Integrating with the fast API, it was his stuff, and I worked on the Spring Boot and web platforms. And
I also worked on the Android code, and he worked on.
Good job.
Very great. Thank you.
thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, any questions?
Audience?
None. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Again, you want a job or you would like to hire a suggestion, you will make a lot of money. No need of job, right?
Ma'am, job is needed for initial stages because any business require initial investment.
We'll leave the job if this makes money.
That's what everybody thinks.
So the problem is that somebody who's going to hire you and they will give you a lot of work, you will not be able to work on this project again. So you need time to do this work, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So कैसे फिर वो तो छूट जाएगा सारा अगर जॉब में चले गए तो something else you will be doing. You will not be able to focus on this. So how you are planning your future? Think on those aspects also, because ये ना हो कि I don't want you to leave this project in between, you know, just because of that job. So startup में try करना. We have a entrepreneur cell, and we actually give lot of money to these kind of startups. So if you want something to come up, so please don't think कि getting a job is the only option left in the life. So don't think that way.
Yes, sir.
हमेशा सोचो कि मैं कुछ अलग कर सकता हूँ, और कर सकते हो तो करो. इतना अच्छा चीज है. हाउ कैन यू लीव इट इन बिटवीन? अगर जॉब ज्वाइन कर ली तो आई एम डेड श्योर कि आपको ये सब छोड़ना पड़ जाएगा. डोंट यू थिंक सो? छोड़ना तो पड़ेगा था, और मैं नहीं चाहती कि आप लोग
Yes,
छोड़ो.
ma'am.
तो सोचते हैं कुछ. आप बात करना मुझसे बाद में, ठीक है?
ठीक है.
I suggest you.
Thank you, ma'am.
कितना परेशान करते हो? बहुत active है। और अगर ये अटेंडेंस नहीं है तो हो जाएगा।
उनको attendance का वो मत रखिए.
नहीं नहीं, ये स्वयं वाले हैं, ये पहले की बात है, बट वेरी हम्बल.
नहीं, very nice. And
Very
their project is also very good. ये जितने भी वो लोग हैं उन लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छी. अगर ये थोड़ा और डेवलप, मतलब अभी मुझे लग रहा है ये बहुत इनिशियल है पेज, तो कर लो उस पे काम, ठीक है?
Thank you.
Very good.
Right.
You
Thank
like
you,
the
guys.
project?
He was confident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
They actually won. So of course confidence will be.
I mean, they are working for at least 14 to 16 hours a day, and we have made them compulsory that you have to keep your profile, coding profile correct. You have to learn the system design. You have to participate in the contest. You have to develop the project as well. And surprisingly, due to their hard work and other things, around 80% of the institution students of this institution are saying that, sir, give us freedom from academics. we will be here for 12 hours, mark the attendance, we will not go anywhere, but allow us to sit freely and do. That is what the
Actually-
restriction have paid to us.
Yes, that's very good thing that we allowed, and they are doing, and
They
they
are
are
doing.
getting some time, and they're not wasting time.
They are very sincere.
So I am glad to see the kind of a project they made, and it's not that I had some other, perception, but I mean,
Yesterday, since 2 days, they were being knocked.
Yeah.
Neeraj and she, me, and 2-3 other people. We were of the view, अरे ये क्या, ऐसे करो, वैसे करो.
System design बनवाया,
System
HRD
design.
बनवाया, everything बनवाया, because it's a technical presentation, you have to have that. So as we guys told you, it sort of paid off for them.
They have done that.
They have done
People have hard work. It will pay.
I think we'll hold some kind of a contact, hackathon or something.
मई में हम नेशनल लेवल का कर रहे हैं.
Project
हाँ, प्रोजेक्ट पे ही करेंगे. मई में नेशनल लेवल का करेंगे.
because people should get to know that.
Actually, by this program, where they stand, क्योंकि आज जो भी इन्होंने implement नहीं किया है, we are getting that the term scalability was talked about honorable jury. So once they are putting that thing into account and they are following that thing, they will be really eligible or comfortable to participate in hackathon or the problem solving scenarios.
So moving ahead, we have seen multiple projects now. More to come. But imagine we don't really know, right? कि कहाँ पे क्या, what is happening, what is building. Let's say somewhere somebody down in a town and is a crazy good coder and building something with an idea. None of us are aware of that. With such a solution to such a problem statement, we have Vasudev, and the title of his project is Project Recommendation System. Over to you. All the best.
Hello, everyone, respected panel members, ma'am. I am Vasudev Shrivastava, and I'm here to present to you the project recommendation system. Well, the name of the project is a little misleading because what started as just a recommendation system in my mind has now evolved into a full-fledged, intricate platform that I aim to build for all things project related. As CS students or even IT professionals alike, the projects are one of the most important things, and it's basically a part of their lives. Like we have to keep building projects, learn new stack, and then build more projects using them. It's a process that goes on for almost our whole life. So what I aim to do in this platform is, let's say, I aim to help students in two phases of their project building. The first one is, let's say I just created a project. I learned Django and I want to create a project to test my skills, like how far I've learned. But I don't have, what we usually do is we go on Google and then people search show me best Django projects to make, show me just Django projects for hackathons, yeah, show me best Django projects to learn, show me best Django projects for different types of things. But there's no platform which I'm currently aware of that provides you personalized recommendation based on what you know, how much you know that, how much time you have to create that project, and that's what I've been trying to build. But the key features of this platform will be, it's not just to get recommendation. It will be a community-driven platform. The database will be populated by the students themselves. Let's say I created a project, and what I usually do is I share it to my friends or I post it on LinkedIn and say, guys, give me feedback on my project. How's it looking? Should I add more features? How should I optimize this person in the background? I do that. I send it to my friends or on LinkedIn. But if there were a platform where I could share my project and gain recognition, gain feedback, gain community, I would definitely use that. That's what I feel, and you guys might also feel that. And there's no such platform for that right now. There's GitHub where we can post the repositories, but it's not community driven like I want it to be. I want it to. You might have heard of Kaggle, right? It's a data science platform, and the people in that field have it easy. They can post their ML models on that platform and they gain recognition from that, they gain medals from that. And if you show that you have gained recognition on Kaggle on your data science resume, it is a prestigious thing in their community. And that's what I've been trying to build for us software developers, for us software engineers. So the key features of this platform will be showcasing projects. You can publish your projects, receive feedback. There will be a discussion section, and if your project is being liked, it will gain recognition. It will give you place in the trending page. It will gain you stars. You can rank in the leaderboard. You can get a personalized recommendation, as I've already told. There's an API that the project uses. If you enter your skills, I'll just show you in the demo. Oh, wait. Okay, so this is a recommendation page. It's the current version is not what I aim it to be. It's somewhat and just an MVP, a minimal viable product. There's a lot of features I want to add actually the thing is, whenever I make a commit to this project and I get up thinking कि चलो भाई अब project हो गया, a new wave of ideas hit my mind कि नहीं, I have to add this feature also. There's a lot of things I can do. So I think it's going to be a never-ending process. I'll keep adding features, keep adding improvements on this platform. But for now, what I've built, I'll show you guys. There's if you go to this get recommendation page, first there's a profile. When you create an account, you have a profile, and you enter your skills in that profile section. The Python, Java, and Django is what I've entered. And when you go to the get recommendation page, what the API does is it collects all the projects in the database. It compares the skills that the projects are associated with. See, in the all project section, each project that you share has tags of skills or technologies that a project requires. For example, this project requires you to know HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript, etc. So when you go to the get recommendation page, it compares what skills you have and what skills the project requires, and it considers some other factors also, such as what rating that project has, how much that project is trending, and there are some also other factors that I aim to include, such as difficulty level, but it's not in this current version. And then it generates a score, a recommendation score for each project, and then sorts and shows you the project based on that recommendation score. Then there's a discussion section. Let's say you create a you're creating a project and you have some doubt, you have some problem you are stuck in. There you go to Stack Overflow, and there are platforms for this, but I tried to put everything together in a single platform. So there's discussion section for that. You can contribute to the project using this form. And yeah, going back to the PPT, I did include the database diagram, but I could not unfortunately include the architecture, as sir have kindly pointed out. I'll make a note of including that in my future presentations. So here's the database diagram of the model. For the implementation is that I've used Django and Django REST framework for the backend. For front end, I've used HTML and Bootstrap, not even JavaScript. It's a simple front end. And the AI recommendation system currently uses cosine similarity for project matching, and it considers rating and views as some other factors. Authentication is handled by Django's built-in auth system, and the project is currently deployed on render. Testing is yet to be done. And yeah, for future scope, there's a lot of things that I have in my mind that I want to add to my project, such as individual personal messaging. You can find people who share your interests, who share your skills. You can communicate with them. You can ask them to collaborate on projects. And right now there is a section for a LinkedIn profile that you can communicate, get to other people. But yeah, that's what I have created. Thank you. Any questions, sir?
From the first impression of your project, like this like I could not find anything like new that you're trying to achieve here, because you're simply searching few keywords and showing based on that.
Right.
What additional, like what new thing that you're trying to do here? Because like that has been done, Google has done 20-30 years back, right? Same keyword you are searching, you're showing something, right? I'm mapping my skills and getting the results based on those skills, right? But apart from that, what exactly you're trying to
The
achieve?
quality of Google search right now, I don't think it's that good. But like, if I can try that right now. If I enter projects for Django and HTML, how many projects will I get? Like, I don't think the quality
But
is.
you can do the custom search also, right? If I want to do the custom search, you can do the custom like APIs, right? We can create few projects only, right? I have these 10 projects, right?
Yeah.
And then I can search, it will give the results from those 10 projects only. Then it will be efficient, right?
But the stack can be very extensive. Like, let's say.
That is fine, but
Huh.
whatever the keywords or text tag are mentioned there, it will give results based on that only, right? In your case, what are the existing systems?
I plan to improve on the quality of that. I
There
would
also,
say.
like, you are mentioning again and again that you are thinking this and that. So why you are going through that processes? Because your problem statement itself is not clear.
No.
You started with something,
Yeah.
but you are not clear what exactly you started. Now you are reiterating it.
Nice.
Now I have to do this thing also. I have to do this thing also.
So my problem statement is clear. How will I solve this problem is what has been iterating in my mind. The problem statement is clear. I want students to get personalized project recommendations based on what they need. Yeah.
Make it a trustable platform.
Trustable platform.
Like you mentioned.
Like I mentioned, Kaggle. Yeah.
And so that industry-wide,
Industry
people can judge that this person has this capability, like they do with, I think, GitHub, or they show that the hacker ranks.
Right now, people show like their lead code ranking or their commit number of commits on GitHub.
I think you change your main objective from giving them the options what project they can do along. The major focus should be building that trust and that platform where people trust that, okay, he has done these projects and he is my go-to person. Probably focus a bit there than what he is suggesting.
Yes,
It's actually true. If you give a good prompt to the chat GPT, I just did. Okay, he gave me the suggested projects, or because projects can be anything. Technology तो मैं कुछ भी बना के कर ही लूँगा, है ना? अगर जैसे मेरे को लाइब्रेरी सिस्टम बनाना है, वो मैं आपकी टेक्स्ट स्टैक पे बना दूंगा, मैं अपनी पे भी बना, और मुझे आता है उस पे बना सकता हूँ. तो project suggestion won't help this, but the thing.
No, sir. I'm getting your point. The thing is that the projects that Google or ChatGPT will mention will be just ideas. What I'm trying to suggest on this platform are actual projects that are built by people and how you can interact with them. Let's say if I find community, community is what I'm trying to focus. Yes, you can't have a community with ChatGPT, and I can't discuss with ChatGPT. Like I can't discuss, but it's not a real person. Like I want to, let's say when I started building this project, I wanted someone to handle the front end. I'm not that good with front end. I just use CSS, HTML, CSS.
One project already going on. I don't remember the name, but I saw it where similarly, people have their profiles. They publish their whole profile with the tech stack or the kind of project they work on, and people can go and search there, and they can take the paid services. Let's say I need some suggestion or feedback. This is the charged amount, and then they get it, similar to the online teachers kind of thing. So there is one ongoing project similar to something like that. But yeah, just shift your major focus on the building the community.
Call it.
With the profile section, but I think somewhere 60-70% work is already being done, but in batches. You need to see how you can. Well, because this is not Shark Tank, right? We are not the people, but the project should literally go in that direction. That you are solving some problem, and that's the main problem. That building the community, building the interaction level. There should be not a project searching part.
It's a part of the platform, but yeah, I'll shift my focus to the community. Yes, thank you for that. Okay, all right.
And any specific reasons why you use those technologies behind this project, like Django or PostgreSQL and other stuff?
Just a second. Sir, because the platform was mostly data driven, there was not going to be too much interactive elements, and I thought Django would be fine for that, because it might be a little old, but it's still a good framework if you want monolithic web services.
No one wants it.
It's still being used in the industry, no?
If something is going on, people are hesitant to change depending upon how big the system is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's old or new. I'm asking why you choose it, because this is nothing to do with the kind of function. Let's say the earlier projects which have they have certain requirements to use this part, this language, this technology. this project doesn't have any specific requirement to use any particular technology. That's where I'm asking why you choose it, because you know it.
I was familiar with Django's, that's why I chose it. Any web development framework would have worked. Yeah, anything would have worked. Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Oh. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for taking. Please take our feedback as positive.
I will.
Nothing to,
No, sir. Of course, yeah.
very positive.
You're here to guide us only. Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah, next candidate, please. Can we take that? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
नहीं है वापस आएंगे वो तुम्हारा स्टार्ट हो गया था
अभी नहीं
तो वो लूप ब्रेक है
It's looking fine.
Check it. Say hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Voice is coming. Battery backup.
Hello.
Wear it. Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Say.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Ready? Good morning, panel members and my fellow batchmates. I'm Udit Dwivedi and I will be giving my project on True Vision. It is a deepfake detection API and extension. So, number one, what is the value of someone's face? Someone's identity can be said it is his face, his voice. These are some of the identities which we associate that cannot be faked. But in the modern technology, it is very easily being faked. There have been many cases such as we have Alia Bhatt deepfake, which has recently gone viral. In our Indian election 2024, we also had many government agencies sent out some deepfake videos against their competitors, making some outlandish statements, which was done to sway the voters movement. Hema Malini ma'am has also said to do something about this, as it is endangering actresses and actors' identity and such. So, what is my objective? My objective is to build a deepfake detector that is very easy to use. I don't want to go download the video and then upload it to some website and check whether it is deepfake or not. I want to do it right there. Whether this photo is deepfake or not, I want to do it right there. How can I do that? Well, I have a browser extension for that. Also, we also have an API for this. Why do we have an API? As the government is also thinking about combating these deepfakes, it will eventually come to the conclusion that one of the major sources of deepfake spread is social media. So social media platforms are going to require to have deepfake verified videos only uploaded on the platform. How now big social media platforms like Instagram and such will be able to afford deepfake analysis, but smaller upcoming platforms will not be able to do that. So deepfake detection API, I predict, will increase heavily in the following social media coming years. So we need a good extension that can easily detect it and an API. So we have an methodology over here. We have used deep learning PyTorch based model to detect a deepfake. We have a Flask server for which is to handling the API, and a JavaScript browser Chrome extension for extension purposes. So we have a browser, it requests to scrape the website. I will get to this part. We have image, it will download the images, it will pre-process the image, getting the face locations. We are using face recognition Python library for that, for quick processing. We have a deepfake detector which is completely trained by us, built by us, and that when is it an API call? If it is not an API, it will show deepfakes, and if it is an API, we are going to give that as a response to the whatever app called the API. Let's look at it through a demo because it will be better for that. So this is my Flask running on my laptop. This is an app. I have that app open right here. I'm going to upload a video on it. Now, my app is currently uploaded the video. You can see that the model has predicted it as real, and in some time it will also get the display. This video is a bit delayed. Now we are also doing what we will consider the fake video. So I also try and over here. And now we are uploading the video which will consider the fake, and it will give us the fake result as you saw in the app. This is the app profile which any social media platform can use our API to call this. Let's look at the browser. Let's say I'm browsing the websites. For the sake of the demonstration, we are just going to go to Google Images and see the deepfakes. This is my deep directive. It is the browser which we'll be using. With the click of a button, we can check that we are downloading all the images. Now, one thing over here will be, why am I not sending my images through the API call? I am actually sending the link of that URL page to the browser because my server will need to download the images regardless. So it is better that the server downloaded it from the source rather than me getting the images. So that saves us the hassle of, and the deepfakes are shown whatever my model has detected deepfakes. So rather than doing these image extraction and image scrapping on the JavaScript extension and then sending it to the API, it is better to give the task to the server only itself. Coming back to my presentation. Now, what is my high level design? This design is a bit ambitious, but there are basically two major flows, and the first basic flow that I already showed you was an application. It will upload a video, it will do this image process, pre-processing, image extraction, face location and other such. It will pass it to deepfake and it will give us the response. But as the deepfake will keep on increasing, we will need to train our models again and again to ensure that it keeps on updated. We are going to have bigger data sets so we can improve it. So we also have a different training flow. We are putting like 30% of that into testing the data because deepfake is a bit crucial on the accuracy side. So we need proper accuracy on this. Now here's an idea that I will explain now, which is a multi-level model implementation. We have the basic ResNet 50, which will detect the deepfakes on a, which is currently running over here. We are also, but the accuracy of that model currently we have trained is only 83%, which is a very bit low. So it would be better, and 83% better is what's better than 83%. It's either more percentage, but that will take some time, or it's better that we have more models, different architecture, which may specialize in detecting various different things. So that's why we have multiple models over here, which will be using a multi-modular approach to detect deepfakes on a multiple level for higher severity cases. That may be a celebrity or a politician and such. This is my low-level design. This design is highly abstracted. We have our image scraper. This is running on the server. We have our deepfake data. This is also on the server. I have separated them two because they are essentially now different, doing different tasks. We have extension, which is we have some start button, send messages on all these. These are highly abstracted. If we were to explore this, we could go on and exploring this for half an hour or more. Now, what are some of the challenges that I faced during development of the product? And we have a simple tech stack. I did not use any other API other than the face recognition pip install. Pip, you can find it on the pip. It gives you the good description. We needed it for the image location, like, so we do not process the entire image, only the faces. So model training time. Training takes a lot of time. So we used a pre-trained ResNet 50 with a pre-trained model weights and all of them. So model inference speed, model quantization and optimized hardware. So we first of all tried to train it on a local machine, but that was of course not feasible given I have an i3 10th gen. So I went to Google Cloud Collab and started training on that. But I will also come, there was also dataset problem. We originally had 20,000 videos, but Google Colab could not do that much because it takes a lot of time, and on a free tier we only have so much time to do it. So I had to compress it to 1500. That's where 1500, yes. So that's where my number comes from, and that's why the accuracy is so low. Now there was a lot of false positives. Some deepfakes that were actually deepfakes were saying real. I wanted to minimize that, but that had an adverse effect of increasing the false negatives. Some reals that is saying that it is deepfake. Now I would rather have this rather than some deepfake being classified as real, because we don't want something that, because the person can check it again or check it to a different model if it doesn't work. And like I already told you, rather than sending images from the extension, it would be better to send the URL to the Flash server, which will download the images itself and process it as it wishes. This was all the result that you saw in the demo. Now, testing and validation, as I told you, we used 1500 videos. The reason being that I did not have sufficiently strong hardware. We achieved 83% accuracy on the model. We had like trained originally we tried to train it for 50 epochs, which could not feasible. So we only went for 20 and 30 epochs. Like I said, false negative. So we changed the positive threshold. So that increased the false negative. That increased the false negatives as well. Now, conclusion. So why I built this application was essentially that a lot of the time when we need to do deepfake checking or that, we have many sites available. They do many models. They have also multi-modular approach. But there are not many extension or any other thing that we can do on the step. Like, why would the things that sell today are convenience? Needs have already been met by many consumer and many providers, but what we need is convenience. We have an extension. You can do it on the go. Would you go, you're looking at a video, you're going to download that video first and then upload it? That doesn't make much sense, and most people will not bother. They will either assume it's true or they will not be able to check it themselves or spread the awareness. The deepfake has this entire thing of astounding unreasonable, shocking value. That's what make it viral. That's what make it popular. And in the modern times, which is where the tensions are running high on a political scale, this is very important to check it. Now, what would the future scope? Currently, we are only doing for video and images, but I would also like to include it for all audio, synthetic voices, text, and all of that, because there have been many scams going on around where they will call the first person, get their voice sample, and use that voice sample to generate an artificial synthetic voice to call the relative and ask for money, or some other case that we have already heard. We have application digital forensics on other things, so the digital experts can see through a large amount of data, and then whatever comes out, they can do heavy analysis on them using their own tools. Multi-level evaluation, as I told you, like cases which are much severe. If it's a politician over there, we do not want to just rely on one level. We will have different models. Different models will have different voting, multi-voting will be there. And this is the main evaluation that we are currently working on, is the real-time screen monitoring. We are only going to use our deepfake detector if we think that there is a deepfake. But most of the time, deepfakes are so rampant now and so efficient that we cannot even think that this is a deepfake. So the plan is to have an extension that will monitor our screen and show it whether it is deepfake or not. So if you are interviewing someone, so it will tell you whether it is it's a person himself or someone is impersonating them. It could be interview for job, application for job. A friend might join there, so he would be like, my man, please, I cannot do this interview, you need to crack this for me, and he will slap their deepfake on their video stream, and he gets the job. And then they come and he's like, well, you were able to do it on the live interview, why can't you do there? Or they are journalists is questioning someone, they are doing like, okay, this is an interview, like how could this be fake? But it's like they're also strapping. So we can ensure that this is model available to anyone, especially for people where identity matters a lot. Now, these are some of my references. We did some research paper, we had some articles. These were the data sets. We sampled a little bit of data from all of this. We use ResNet 50. We have LSTM, but LSTM is not currently running on my machine because it will be way too much for this. Now, my name is Udit Dwivedi, and this is my email ID. I hope I have cleared all your doubts, and if there are any questions or suggestions, I'm open to hear them.
Your selling point of this project is the convenience.
Yes, sir.
Right? This is not being consumed by the general people first.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Sorry.
We won't bother if this video is a fake or
yes, sir.
You won't care about it, right?
Most normal people will not care whether it is deepfake. They will just move on.
The convenience part get lost there.
So convenience part is essentially more for the people who are researching for something. Like recently, there have been so many cases where I will show no other, but let's just say that the director could, or the director one. Can I take the director example? Example as an example. Essentially, we had a recent case with the director, and there was a thing where is this fake or not. So it would be like better if we could analyze it on ourselves, because we would like, is it fake or not, and we don't even care. But it's like we should be ready because it is affecting our college reputation. And like I said, research, many people who are going to be going in editorial journalism and the higher things, they need to be able to easily evaluate whether something is deepfake or not. And I told you, like social media will also be needing to do deepfake proctoring on as well.
I agree to that point that it will be used. It's not a consumer product. Okay, it's more over
business side.
Product
Yes, sir.
The journalism or let's say the interview part.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The one pointer was this. Dan, you used these different models, okay, which are already built.
Which are already pre-trained. They are pre-trained to detect faces. So we used our own data set to fine-tune them to detect deepfakes ourselves. So
how we do that?
So essentially we can use, we had a model, we downloaded it and we loaded it and then we fine-tuned it. So the model mainly was trained by some of my friends, and then I essentially managed the integration with it. I also helped a bit of the model training from understanding the model, harming the it was already way too much taxing, and we were not had that much time. We were severely limited by our computation power, and the amount of data set was simply too much to sieve through and validate it ourselves whether the data is valid or not. That's why we only went from 3 sources only data.
That's fine. Limitations were already there. We understand. Because obviously, on configuration we are working,
Yes.
it can't be modeled. That's true. I'm curious to know how you will train the model. Okay, let's say you have 1500 videos.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you analyze them by yourself. You say, okay, this one is not deepfake, this is fake, this is not fake, fake, right? Like
Yes,
that,
sir.
you told the system, or how?
Essentially, we had our entire data set. Most of the data set I showed over here, these are all labeled data sets. They are already labeled whether this video is deepfake or not. So we just needed to path it that this is the videos, and the image processor will work itself, and it will say this video was deepfake, and we were able to test it through also that.
You took all the built-in features, you plug
Yes,
them in.
of the torch and torch vision. If anyone wanted to know, this is currently my lead code profile. It took me a hard time, but I got night batch just 2 days ago.
One suggestion. Can you use the unit or transformer with the mechanism? Just make a your model.
मतलब फाइन ट्यूनिंग के बजाय
Just create your model.
Okay, from the scratch mainly.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take that suggestion into account. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So guys, we're going to break for lunch. Thank you all. Thank you guys for I know the patiently analyzing every project. So we are going to break for lunch, and then we